Today I'm going to answer the most debated topic in radio. Does the tuner just make your radio happy, or does it actually make your antenna more efficient? Let's find out for sure. All right, the eternal argument. Does the tuner just make your radio happy, or does it improve antenna performance? The most popular belief is that the antenna simply absorbs SWR so that it never makes it back to your radio. And the opposite side of the argument is that the tuner electrically controls the length of your antenna. So if you need 13 feet of antenna, but you only have 10, the tuner is going to make up for that 3 feet. This is a coil type CNL tuner, so that is exactly how this works. It has a coil inside. So if the tuning that you need is within the scope of the tuner, it adjusts the length of your antenna. Therefore, it is resonant and will accept the power you put out. The power meter is only going to show you the actual power forward. Okay, so if it says 20 watts forward, then there's 20 watts going out to that antenna. That's important to remember. Right now, there's an IMAX 2000 antenna hooked up to this system, and I'm going to do a power reading and an SWR reading on it. Then we're going to switch to my rain gutter, and we're going to see how much power goes to my rain gutter using the tuner and what the SWR looks like on the rain gutter. So, here's the test. IMAX 2000, tuner's off because it's an ideal antenna, so we're going to bypass the tuner. And I'm going to do a AM carrier just so I have some flat basis for comparison here. So I key up, and I'm getting about 15 watts dead key on AM. Let's do the SWR on the IMAX. All right, slam that back. We're getting about 1.5, not bad, 1.5 SWR, which is consistent with what the radio says. So those two values agree with each other. So now what we're going to do is we're going to switch over to my rain gutter. The end of this wire is connected to the bottom of the rain gutter where the water comes out. That goes up the wall to the roof line, which goes 90-degree angle across the roof. Not a great antenna. Okay, so tuner's on because the whole point here was to compare how much power do I get out with a tuned antenna versus an ideal antenna that didn't need a tuner. That is 2. This is the 100 scale. 20 watts is making it to my rain gutter. No reflection on the tuner. 20 watts. 20 watts is going to my rain gutter. If the antenna only made the radio happy by absorbing excessive SWR, you would need to subtract that amount of SWR from the output. So let's say if the SWR was 3 watts, then this would have only said 17 watts forward. That's not what's happening. It says there's 20 watts going forward. Less energy is making it to the IMAX because it is not tuned. Radiation pattern is questionable because it's a 90-degree angle, but that's not what we're testing here. We're testing, does this just make the radio happy, or does it make your antenna get more power? And the truth is it is giving the antenna more power than an ideal antenna would untuned. What I'm going to do now is I'm going back to the IMAX 2000, and I'm going to tune it. And then I'm going to check to see how much power it gets. On dead key, no reflection, no reflection. 1. 1. Not 1.5, 1. Look at the meter. It's closer to 20 watts. The needles don't lie. This does not just make your radio happy. It improves the performance of your antenna. If your antenna is performing correctly, there's nothing there to damage your radio because there is no back SWR. It's not going to make it to the radio because it doesn't exist. The SWR was eliminated by tuning the antenna in the first place to get all of the power out of it. This debate never ends. People like to just parrot what they heard. Somebody told me that an antenna tuner... Okay, well, you might have heard that, but what was your source? Where did you get the information? Or are you just Fox Newsing it? Somebody said it was true, so you believe it, right? So you can check it yourself. Go ahead and do it. Try this at home. I'm telling you, this doesn't just make the radio happy. It doesn't have to make the radio happy because there's no SWR there to damage the radio because you tuned your antenna. Now, I got to try my rain gutter on FT8 and see what happens. So for now, see you next time.